Hello and welcome back to Would You Rather? I'm your host, davidinark, and today we answer some of life's most pressing questions like this one. Would you rather be the homemaker or be the breadwinner? And the little subtitle thing says wearing the pants. So basically, do you want to be the person who is at home doing the home stuff, presumably? Like, I don't know, what's the home stuff? Cleaning and housekeeping type stuff. I don't know. What's a homemaker anymore? I have no idea. Or be the breadwinner, that is the one going out making all the money. First of all, this question is very, very old fashioned. I mean, seriously, I'm not even sure. Is this even a thing anymore? I'm sure there are folks who are in a position to where one of the parents or one of the people could stay home while the other is out making, earning the living and making all the money. I would guess in those particular situations, that's probably reserved for either those folks who fundamentally believe that's the way, that's the way life should be, or the very wealthy. Because the rest of us, everybody has to work. So I don't know. Like I said, to me, this is very old fashioned. And if you are able to do that, if you're able to be in a position where only one person has to go work and it pays all the bills and what have you, man, in all sincerity, may the Lord bless you, because that's amazing to me. I can't even comprehend that. So getting to the question at hand, though, would I rather be the homemaker or the breadwinner? See, here's my thing about that. This also assumes, I guess, that the person at home can't do anything or isn't doing anything in terms of, earning an income or being financially productive. And if I had to pick between going and doing a job and doing this, being on YouTube and creating different videos, answering these questions, playing games and posting those videos while taking care of the household in general, I'm going to pick that one. So, come on. Who doesn't want to live, who on YouTube, anybody that's already doing the YouTube thing, that's where we all want to, we aspire to that. Of course, Google and YouTube and Alphabet and all the people involved have made that extremely hard for content providers. The flip side of that is, and I'm getting onto a whole different conversation, but the flip side of the trouble that YouTube has been causing between, with creators, with advertisers. Here's the thing on the creator side. I don't pay to put my content up here. So for all intents and purposes, they're offering this service to me for free. So, it's hard to complain that I'm not making money on the ads because I'm doing it for free. And I understand people have made a living and of course they've changed the rules and I get that. But, you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt, man. By the same token, and we've addressed this before, if you have been making a living, and I am very upfront about what happened with me on YouTube, through various changes starting in November 2016, my income from YouTube has been cut 90%. So yes, they let you do this for free, but part of the agreement was, hey, I can do this and they can pay you. So in a weird sort of way, I was sort of working for YouTube, and then I was creating content, I was providing content, and they were paying me to do that via advertising. So if I was making a certain income and then my boss came to me and said, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to cut your pay to 10% of what you were making, I wouldn't be doing that anymore. So, of course, that begs the question, why am I still doing this? I'm doing it because I love it. I think it's awesome. And I get wonderful feedback from you guys. And I know I've spent way too much time on this. So sorry about that. The answer, I'm going to go ahead and pick. I'm going to be the homemaker because then I could do this. Just going to say, if my wife was out there, and she was making tons of money, enough that paid all the bills and all that kind of stuff, I would gladly, clean the house, do the laundry, figure out how to cook, all that kind of stuff. be the homemaker and at the same time keep doing this, yeah, I'll pick that any day of the week. All right, next. Would you rather play Beirut, beer pong, or play Flip Cup? I'm trying to think. Do I know? Yeah, Flip Cup is where, yeah, it's over on the edge. You have to flip it up. Okay, here's the thing. These are drinking games, generally speaking, alcoholic drinking games, hence beer pong. I don't drink alcohol at all, so I'm going to just say that I would pick one of these based on just, drinking, I don't know, whatever, sweet tea, Coke, water, whatever. Okay, so between the two, I would probably rather play beer pong just because, to me, that's much more interactive than, Flip Cup. There's probably more skill involved with Flip Cup. No, I don't even think so about that. I mean, beer pong, you're talking about having to be able to bounce it to go to the right place. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I think there's more skill involved with beer pong. So, again, I wouldn't be drinking beer. I'd be drinking, whatever, Coke or water or whatever. Sweet tea in my case. Root beer, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Probably root beer. All right. Would you rather live without your cell phone or live without your iPod? How old is this question? An iPod. Okay, well, I would rather live without my iPod. And again, this is obviously an old question because I'm assuming that at the time this was put out, cell phones were not, well, first of all, I'm guessing it's that iPhone probably hadn't even been invented yet, but also this is differentiating between the phone, which presumably couldn't play music, and an iPod, which could play music. But, it's 2018 now. I have an iPhone. It does all of the above. So I'm going to say I'd rather live without my iPod because, yeah, at this point, who wouldn't? Okay. Would you rather be an elephant or be a mouse? Big and little. Honestly, I have no idea. Well, elephants live to be like really old. I have no idea what the lifespan of a mouse is, especially, with people trapping them and killing them and whatnot. This is actually a little tougher than I thought. I would tell you my gut reaction was I'd rather be a mouse because I know from I live out in the country, so we have field mice all the time, and those little dudes they can completely collapse their body, and they can get through like a 1/4-inch hole and get through there. It's amazing to me the places they get, and they're fast, they run around, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, I wouldn't mind being a mouse. However, elephants are, they're huge and some would argue majestic and super smart. Now, mice are smart too. You can train a mouse to do a lot of different things. Which would I rather do? I'm curious to know what you would rather do. I want to know. You leave a comment while I'm pondering this. Go ahead and type in your comment, elephant, mouse, and tell me why. But I think I would rather be... Honestly, I think between the two, I think I would pick an elephant. I think about, especially a wild elephant. I think about elephants in the wild. When you see them on different nature shows, or if you've been to a safari, where the animals are allowed to kind of roam a little freer than in a zoo. I don't know. They're so very, very cool. So I think I'd be an elephant. Sure. Why not? All right. Be an elephant. Okay, would you rather be tarred and feathered or be whipped and chained? Oh, you got to pick your punishment here. Okay. I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of being tarred and feathered, but generally speaking, the way this works is you take hot tar, which is this, hot, molten, black, melted substance, and that would be thrown on you, poured on you, whatever, such that then you would be bombarded with tons of feathers. Frankly, the tarring part is the worst part. I can't imagine. Whipped and chained, that would not be pleasant whatsoever. I mean, being chained up and then being whipped, holy cow. And I'm pretty sure I've shared this story before, and if not, you're in for a treat. Grab some popcorn. When I was a kid, and honestly, I must have been, I don't know, 5 or 6, if that even. I may not even been that old. My cousin lived in this old house, and there was a you had to come down these steps. It was a multi-story house. You had to come down these steps and down this long sidewalk, and at the end of the sidewalk was a street. And one day we were over there playing, and they had I don't know if they had just resurfaced the road, if they were paving the road, or I can't even remember why, but there was this pool of tar at the end of the road up next to the curb on the street. And it was hot outside, and so the tar was really melty and sticky. And for whatever crazy reason, my brother and my cousin and I decided that we were going to play in this stuff, and we played in it. I mean, we rolled around in the tar like we were rolling around in dirt, in mud. I mean, it was just, we were playing, we're throwing at each other, everything. It was a complete mess. We were covered from head to toe in this tar. And then, of course, my aunt is like, "What are you kids doing? Are you crazy?" And so she pulls us up out of there and gets us in the tub. And now, this is a very long time ago. I'm pretty sure there are much better solutions for her solution, but we're talking, this is like early 70s, okay? So her solution was to put us in a bathtub, and we were bathed in gasoline and turpentine. And I mean, I can remember that like it was yesterday. Like I said, I was just a tiny kid, but man, I remember that. Oh, I remember getting that turpentine, especially. I don't know why I remember that more than the gas. Then again, I could be mixing the two up for all I remember. But we were getting scrubbed. She had these, she was using sponges, and they weren't working well enough. And I'm pretty sure that she started using Brillo pads, which is, like an SOS pad, steel wool pad. And she wasn't like, scraping our skin off or anything, but it was one of those things where, like, wherever we had big splotches of tar, she was doing that to kind of help break up the tar and then wiping it away with the turpentine and gasoline. Can you imagine that today? Oh my gosh. Yeah, child services would have been called in. So, without the feather part, although, I'm sure we had little flowers and grass and who knows what else all over us. I'm going to go with tarred and feathered because I'm pretty sure I've been there. So there you go. Once again, spending a lot of time answering some of these questions, but some of these bring back memories. Just, bam, and I'm right there. Oh, that is, wow. Okay. So would you rather be dangled over the edge of a cliff or be forced to public speak? I would rather be forced to public speak. Now, what's funny about that is I definitely have not been that way. I wasn't that way for a very, very long time. I hated public speaking. I hated when you had to stand up in front of the class and give a speech, and just the thought of standing in front of people and talking scared the crud out of me. And then I don't know, there were just some different things along the way. I had several different teachers that, first of all, they forced me to speak in front of the class, but they did more than that. It wasn't just get up and present your, and do your presentation. I had a couple of teachers who actually explained the process and talked about different ways that you could help calm your nerves. And it wasn't like picturing people naked or anything. In fact, that was one of the things they said, don't ever do that. That'll probably make you throw up. So, but there were little tricks. And then, of course, I started to develop my own tricks. So, for example, one of the very early things that I kind of picked up on, if you're giving a presentation, especially if it has to be timed, and I really I ended up loving timed presentations because that gave me definite break points for my speaking. So let's say you have to give a 5-minute speech. What am I going to talk for 5 minutes? Are you kidding? 5 whole minutes? That's a long time. And when you're scared to death, it's a very long time. I am not trying to belittle that or anything. It is freaking scary. It really is. But if you break that down, so let's break that down, that 5 minutes, that means that you have a minute, just a minute, to give your introduction. Basically, you're going to tell them what you're going to tell them, and you talk to them for a minute. Now, if a minute sounds long, then I want you to watch commercials. Especially not necessarily on YouTube because they're much shorter than that. But if you watch television or commercials, certain commercials like on Netflix or what have you, or if you're listening to radio, and if you don't listen to radio, try it sometime. Just turn it on and try it, and time how long the commercials are. And many of those commercials are a minute long. So you can get a lot of information across in just a minute. So the first minute, you're going to tell them what you're going to tell them. That's your introduction. The last minute is you're going to tell them what you told them. That's your conclusion. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to tell you what I told you. In the middle 3 minutes, now we're just down to 3 minutes. The middle 3 minutes is whatever it is I'm telling you. Well, depending on what the presentation is, if I break those 3 minutes into 3 1-minute points, guess what? All I'm doing is I'm talking for 5 minutes, but I've now broken that down into 5 1-minute segments. There you go, 5 minutes. And as I've been sitting here, I probably have talked longer than 5 minutes explaining how to talk in 5 minutes. You can do it. You can build it up. You can do it. And then of course, I got into radio, and that definitely helped with public speaking, especially because where I went to college, when I went to college, I was on the radio. So I was at the radio station, and initially it was in a back corner somewhere, but they moved it out to the student center with a big window. So not only were you on the radio, but everybody passing by saw you. So that sort of helped break me out of that public speaking shell, because then I would be doing stupid stuff while speaking. And as you can see now, I talk with my hands all the time anyway. And then as things have gone on, now I actually train teachers and students how to do things like YouTube, like video editing, like using various education technology. So I have grown into this kind of public speaking environment just because I had a couple of teachers who took the time to say, look, let's figure this out, and let me help you not be so scared. Now, are there times I'm still scared? Sure. There have been times where I've had to get up and speak in front of, 600 or 1,000 people. And yeah, you definitely get the butterflies. You definitely get nervous. But by the same token, if you know what you're going to say, then you're going to say it. And you tell a story or two, you get people to laugh, you get them to cry. Next thing you know, your time is up. So I would much rather be forced to public speak because we're already doing it. So there you go. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. Would you rather never be able to say thanks or please? Wow. These are really good questions. Oh my gosh. Okay. I would rather never be able to say please, because at least as I'm thinking this off the top of my head, there are other ways that you can say please without saying please. You could say, may I have this? May I do this? Right? The please is sort of implied. Thanks, to me, thanks, thank you. That's a little harder for me to figure out a different way to say that. If somebody gives you something, an avocado, thanks. No, I'm just kidding. So, but what else do you say there? An avocado, I appreciate it. It's just, I don't know. Thanks is a definite thing, where please, may I have an avocado? it's right there. Hey, may I have that? May I help you with that? May I have? The please is sort of implied. So I would rather never be able to say please than thanks, because frankly, I say thanks a lot. I mean, heck, I say it, at the end of every show. Thank you for watching. What am I going to say? You know what I'm saying? So there we go. All right. Wow. Okay. Would you rather be immortal or die right now? I'm going to guess most folks are going to say be immortal, because I don't know about you. I'm not really in the mood to die right now. So I'm going to go with be immortal if those are my choices. Just going to throw that out there. Yeah. Most people. And I really hope that those folks who chose die right now as an option, period, I really hope you just picked it, to be goofy and kidding around. But if you picked it because you're not feeling good, you're not that is how you really feel, that you wish you could die just right now, please know that there are people you can talk to. And I know it doesn't feel like it, and I'll be honest, you probably don't even want to, but I mean, seriously, a friend, if that bothers you, maybe there's just, seriously, maybe there's somebody nearby, your neighbor, a random person. Again, it could be a friend, it could be some relative that you can talk to and say, I've not been feeling good about things, and I'm not feeling okay. And, I was watching this goofy old man, and this question came up about wanting to die right now. And I really thought I wanted to do that. And that's how I feel. Go talk to somebody about those exact feelings. I've talked about this before in other Would You Rathers and in other videos. And I've been there, and it's very lonely, and it's very hard. It's very scary. But the one thing that I discovered is that there really are people who will take you seriously, not judge you, not think that you're kidding, all that kind of stuff. And then if none of that appeals to you, then in all seriousness, there are hotlines you can call. You can call the suicide hotline and talk to somebody there, and they can walk you through so much, and they can get you some of the help that you need. They can get you in touch with folks who can kind of help navigate those feelings. Like I said, I've been there, and it's not easy. It's not. And I will tell you this, it's also not something that you necessarily ever forget. For me anyway, it's something that is definitely way in the back of my mind. But when things like this come up, as you can tell now, I'm umming and I'm stumbling all over the place. But every now and then the memory of that time definitely comes back, and it can be rough. It really can be tough. And so I hope and frankly I pray that you do reach out to somebody if that was your choice. So and for those of you that have been listening to me go on about this, I apologize that I'm taking up time to talk about this, except I don't apologize, because it is so, it's so important, and it's so personal, and it's very confusing, and it's ugly, and it's mean, and it's painful, and it's so many things, that it's hard to come across questions like this and me not share and talk about that. So just know that you can reach out to somebody. So, okay. All right. Last one because I've been doing this a really long time. Would you rather kiss a hobo or lick someone's dirty feet? And I am pretty sure we've had this one before. I think we've had this one. So I don't remember what I picked, but I'm most likely, I'm 99% sure that I picked kiss a hobo, because I can kiss a hobo. It doesn't even say where, but it doesn't say, on the lips or anything. I could kiss them on the cheek, kiss them on the forehead. I don't even care if it was on the lips. I would kiss a hobo 9 billion times more than I would ever want to. I don't care if somebody's feet had just come out of the shower. I'm not licking anybody's feet. No freaking way. That's just, I cannot deal. No, I can't deal with that. So I'm going to kiss a hobo. So there you go. All right. So that is the last one here on Would You Rather. And we covered a whole lot of stuff. I want to know your thoughts on each of the things that we covered, or any of the things that we covered. Let me know your thoughts on those kind of things. What are some of the things that you would rather? Did you agree with some of the choices I made? What are some of the things that I picked and you were like, no freaking way, I would do the other? And let us know why. I'll leave that down in the comment section below. And you have any other questions, problems, suggestions, horror stories, put those down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much, and the feedback you've been giving me, and the comments, and I appreciate it so much, and hope that I don't know, I hope things go well, and I hope you're having a good day, and hope tomorrow is even better. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Would You Rather.